Hey guys, Kippy here again. So today I thought I would do a little video of the books, more series related, that I really enjoy reading and rereading. So most of these are finished. There are 2 book series in this little stack of mine that technically aren't finished yet. I will tell you which ones those are. But first we're going to start off with, honestly, my all-time favorite series, which is the Devil's Kiss duology. Let's see, first I have Devil's Kiss, and it's basically about the Knights Templar and getting rid of ghouls, ghosts, demons, werewolves, and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really fascinating. There's like a whole prophecy in it. I didn't expect to really like this book when I first picked it up, because it was like given to my sister from one of her friends. But I love it so much, guys. Oh, I have a bookmark in it right now. I think it's actually, I'm going to be rereading this again soon. The second book is Dark Goddess, which is a continuation, but it deals with what they call Fumble Winter, which is basically the werewolves of sorts want to create the basically end of the human race, so the earth can heal itself and then start again. And it's that fight. Sorry, I just realized the cover is torn. I'm not okay with that. And then this might be a surprise to some of you guys, but Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo is also on this list. This is the first book in I personally would think this would be a great duology, but I've heard there's going to be like a 4 or 7 book series. I don't know. There's more books to come. This is Leigh Bardugo's first book in the adult world. It's fantasy. It's so you have this girl, Alex Stern. Her name is Galaxy, which I think is so cool. But she can see ghosts, and that's not exactly normal. And because of this ability, she gets a full ride scholarship to Yale, and she is forced to join the Ninth House, which is the Leith House, because there are a bunch of secret societies, and her house specifically watches over the rest to make sure they're not doing anything uber bad. Stuff happens, people die, people go oof. I don't know how to really talk about that without giving away too much, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And then the next, let's go with the next series that technically isn't finished, which is just oh gosh, I can't remember. There we go. Wayward Children series, which is basically a bunch of books. They're like all installments. A few are connected to each other. Like installment 1 is Every Heart a Doorway, where we follow Nancy, and she went to a world where she got to be a stone, basically. Like, girls, mainly girls, go to these worlds because they're not as needed, per se, like they're like forgotten about, and they get to go through these doorways into worlds that are just them deep down. So yeah, you get to see her story. This specific one, Dead Amongst the Sticks and Bones, is about Jack and Jill. You get introduced to like so many characters in Every Heart a Doorway, but Jack and Jill, they're twins, and you don't really get to see too much of them. But in this one, you actually like get to see their life story. And the book that came out a few months ago, which is Come Tumbling Down, is a continuation of sorts to this story. And I like how some of them connected and some of them really aren't. Like, In an Absent Dream is about their counselor, Lundy. Then you have Beneath a Sugar Sky, which continues on after Every Heart a Doorway. It's really interesting like how they all interconnect. The next book, I can't remember the title of it, is going to be about a completely new character, which I'm really excited to see what her world is about. But yeah. Oh, they're by Shannon McGuire. My next series and spin-off series is The Shadow Falls by C.C. Hunter. The first series, there's 5 books. This is the bind-up of the first 2. I have the bind-up of 3 and 4 as well, and just 5 by itself. But it's about a girl who can also see ghosts, and her mother thinks that she's just like seeing things and that she's crazy, so she sends her to a camp for crazy teens, basically. But then she realizes, like, while she's at this camp, like, she feels like she does not fit in because everyone else is so different from her. But she realized, like, she's also different. She's just not what they are, which is a camp for supernaturals, which we begin to find out. And this whole series is about Kylie Galen, the main character, finding out what she is and all of her cool abilities. And then the spin-off series, which is Shadow Falls After Dark, and it's about Kylie's roommate, Della, and what's going on with her. I highly recommend it if you are just getting into the whole paranormal-y stuff. It's easy to devour. I have reread both these series like at least twice. And then another series, I don't know why I grabbed all 3 books, which is also fantasy, but it's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast in a really different way, which is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I personally prefer this series over her Throne of Glass. It's just more me. But anyway, in this version, our main character, Feyre, her family, like, they're poor, kind of, like, their dad has a job, but it's not raking in money. And so to make it so they can, eat, she goes and hunts, and she kills a wolf. And what she doesn't realize is that was one of the werewolves from the Fey realm. So the person who was in charge of that person comes in and says, "You killed my person, I have to take you, you are coming in their place." And it's the story of, like, so she's the beauty, he's the beast, the stuff happens, and so everyone there is just slowly kind of morphing into animals. They, like, have masks on because they were at a masquerade ball when stuff went crazy. And so this specific book just deals with the story of what happened and can Feyre save them. And then you have A Court of Mist and Fury and Wings and Ruin, which is continuing on this story, and that's the main trilogy. I do have A Court of Frost and Starlight, but it's just a spin-off, kind of. It's introducing the next series that's going to be in this world. It's really good if you guys want to read it. And then my last book series, it's a trilogy. There are 2 trilogies, actually, but I personally adore the first one, which is the Trill trilogy, which is made up of Switched, Torn, and Descend, and it's about trolls, but, like, not your average trolls, which I think is really fascinating. So Switched, oh, there's sticky stuff on it, I have to clean this, so this girl is what you were called a changeling, and so she was switched with a different baby at birth, so they can grow up away from the troll community, and then then they're switched back at like 16-ish, give or take. And what we find out is our main character, Wendy, is actually the princess of this specific community, and her mother rules that one, and then her father is the king of a different one, and they're just warring it out. And so both of them are trying to get her. Eventually she goes to the community where her mother is and learn stuff. And it's basically the whole series, you deal with, like, figuring out why Wendy was born and all of that. And then to help stop the war between these 2 clans, basically. So, yeah, that's it for these books. Let me see if I can get this in nicely. Yeah, I got the box set, guys. Oh no, I can't get it. There we go. They just fit in so prettily. So yeah, that's it for this video. I have other series that I really enjoy reading, but these are just like my go-to ones to reread all the time. So yeah, that's it for today. KB out. Bye!